Amsterdam is incredible, but some of the best places in the Netherlands are actually just outside the city. In this video, I'm taking you to my favorite day trips less than 1 hour from Amsterdam. From charming canal towns and historic cities, to windmills, tulip fields, cheese auctions and hidden gems that are perfect for a quick escape. So if you want to see more of the Netherlands beyond Amsterdam, these are the places you absolutely need to add to your itinerary. Let's begin! Welcome back, travelers! Today we're continuing the adventure with my final 2 days in Amsterdam. If you haven't seen part 1 of this trip yet, make sure to check it out. On this video, we cover the best day trips you can do from Amsterdam. Before we jump in, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more adventures. I am ready, so let's begin. If you're visiting the Netherlands during spring, there is one place you absolutely cannot miss: Keukenhof. Located in the heart of the Dutch Bollenstreek, also known as the Flower Strip, this region is famous for its endless tulip fields and flower farms stretching between Amsterdam and The Hague. Known as the Garden of Europe, Keukenhof is one of the most famous flower gardens in the world and attracts visitors from all over during tulip season. After an amazing drive through massive flower fields, we have finally arrived at the entrance of Keukenhof. Just stepping out of the car, you can feel the excitement, and I can't wait to walk through the gardens and see this incredible display of flowers up close. Keukenhof is only open for a short period each year, usually from March until May, and more than 7 million flowers are planted throughout the park annually. Honestly, the moment you walk in, it almost doesn't feel real. Everywhere you look, there are vibrant tulips, perfectly designed gardens, lakes, fountains, and colorful flower displays in every direction. Because it's one of the most popular spring attractions in the Netherlands, crowds can become extremely busy after around 10 a.m. To enjoy a more peaceful experience and get better photos, I'd highly recommend arriving right when the park opens, or later in the afternoon at least 3 hours before closing. The gardens are massive, with over 30 hectares to explore, so you can easily spend hours just wandering through the different pathways and viewpoints. Inside the park, there are also several indoor pavilions featuring themed flower exhibitions and artistic floral arrangements. Some focus on tulips, while others showcase orchids, roses, lilies, and other incredible flowers from around the world. The pavilions honestly felt like walking through art galleries made entirely out of flowers, and this ended up being one of my favorite parts of the visit because every space had completely different colors, styles, and designs. Before leaving, we also took one of the small whisper boats through the canals surrounding the flower fields. It is a relaxing way to see more of the Dutch countryside and get a closer look of the famous tulip fields beyond the gardens themselves. Seeing the colorful flower fields stretching across the countryside was still a really nice experience, but compared to the beauty and variety inside the gardens and pavilions, the boat tour felt a little underwhelming. If you're limited on time, I'd probably recommend skipping it and visiting some of the other nearby attractions instead, like the Tulip Barn or Tulip Experience Amsterdam. The gardens and tulip fields were even more stunning than I imagined. This was one of those places where you just want to pause, take it all in, and never forget the beauty around you. After an amazing visit to Keukenhof, we made our way to Haarlem, a beautiful city just about 35 minutes away and on the way back to Amsterdam. If you're looking for the perfect day trip from Amsterdam, Haarlem might be one of the Netherlands' best hidden gems. Just a short train ride away, this charming Dutch city has everything people love about Amsterdam: canals, historic streets, cafes, and beautiful architecture, but with fewer crowds and a much more local feel. From wandering through the old town to discovering hidden courtyards and cozy restaurants, Haarlem is the kind of place that completely surprises you. We're making our way now to Grootemarkt, the main square here in Haarlem. It is a beautiful place that is surrounded by amazing historic buildings and cozy cafes. For centuries, Grootemarkt has been the center of daily life in Haarlem, where locals gather to trade, shop, and socialize, and even today it still feels lively and authentic. Surrounded by colorful Dutch buildings, cafes, restaurants, and historic architecture, this is the perfect place to slow down and experience the atmosphere of the city. One of the best things about Haarlem is how relaxed and local it feels compared to Amsterdam. You can grab a coffee at one of the outdoor cafes, wander through the side streets, or simply sit in the square and take it all in. Grootemarkt really is the perfect introduction to Haarlem. Dominating the skyline of Haarlem is St. Bavo's Church, one of the city's most iconic landmarks and a masterpiece of Dutch Gothic architecture. Originally built in the Middle Ages, the church has stood at the heart of Haarlem for centuries and remained one of the most important historic sites in the city. Inside, the church feels incredibly grand, with massive wooden vaulted ceilings, detailed stained glass windows, and historic stone columns that showcase the craftsmanship of the time. One of the biggest highlights is the famous Müller organ, one of the most renowned organs in the world. Built in the 18th century, it became so famous that musicians like Mozart and Handel travel here to play it. Whether you step inside or simply admire the church from Grootemarkt, St. Bavo's is one of those places that instantly makes Haarlem feel timeless. After visiting St. Bavo's Church, we spent some time wandering through Haarlem's shopping streets. And honestly, this ended up being one of the most relaxing parts of the day. Unlike Amsterdam, Haarlem feels much quieter and more local, which makes it perfect for simply exploring without any real plan. The streets are lined with boutique stores, cafes, small bakeries, and beautifully preserved Dutch buildings that give the entire city a really charming atmosphere. Around almost every corner you will find hidden alleyways, canals, and little spots that make Haarlem feel authentic and incredibly easy to fall in love with. Our next stop is a true hidden gem. It's the most beautiful hidden courtyard that they have here in Haarlem, and I'll make sure you don't miss it. Provernierhof is one of Haarlem's most peaceful and historic hidden spots, a quiet courtyard tucked away behind the busy streets of the city center. Originally founded in the Middle Ages, the Hof was created as a charitable housing community for elderly women, and it still preserves the calm, secluded atmosphere today. Places like Provernierhof are part of what makes Haarlem so special. They offer a glimpse into a quieter side of Dutch history and a local life that many tourists completely miss. After exploring the peaceful inner courtyard, we made our way to one of Haarlem's most iconic landmarks, the Adriaan's Windmill, a traditional Dutch windmill located right along the river near the historic center. Originally built in the 18th century, the windmill became an important part of Haarlem's history before being destroyed by fire in 1932 and later carefully rebuilt. Today, the Adriaan is one of the best places to experience a classic Dutch landscape with beautiful river views, historic houses, and the windmill towering over the city skyline. And that wraps up our first day exploring beyond Amsterdam. But the adventure is far from over. Tomorrow we'll be discovering 2 more incredible day trips that might completely change the way you experience the Netherlands. If you want that classic Dutch atmosphere without the crowds of Amsterdam, Alkmaar is an amazing day trip option. Just a short ride from the capital, this city feels quieter, more local, and full of authentic charm. And if you visit during cheese market season, you can watch the traditional cheese trading ceremony Alkmaar is famous for. From hidden canals to local culture, Alkmaar is one of those places that quietly surprises you in the best way. Our first stop on today's adventures is the famous cheese market in Alkmaar, a true feast for the senses and a must-see Dutch tradition. Every week during the season, the city transforms into a lively open-air market where rows of bright yellow cheese wheels are laid out across the square. In the center, you will see the traditional cheese carriers in white outfits and color hats, working in teams as they transport the heavy wheels on wooden stretchers. The auction itself is surprisingly fast-paced, with hand signals used to bid on the cheese in a system that has barely changed over the centuries. It's not just a show for tourists, it is a real piece of Dutch history that once played a key role in the country's cheese trade. Watching it feels like stepping back in time and is easily one of those memorable things you can experience in the Netherlands. Around the cheese auction in Alkmaar, the whole square comes alive with traditional market stalls. You will find everything from local Dutch cheeses and fresh produce to flowers and handmade goods. We made a quick stop to try the famous Dutch poffertjes, soft, fluffy mini pancakes served warm and topped with butter and powdered sugar. It is the perfect place to walk around, taste local food, and soak in the atmosphere while the historic cheese market is happening just steps away. After exploring the main sites, we take some time to simply wander through the quieter streets of town, and this is where the real charm starts to show. Away from the busy squares, the atmosphere completely changes. The streets are peaceful, lined with beautiful historic buildings, small canals, and hidden corners that most visitors walk straight past. And honestly, this slow, quiet side of town ends up being one of the most memorable parts of the entire visit. We just made it to the charming villa of Zaanse, where historic windmills, traditional crafts, and picturesque scenery make it feel like we step back in time. Just a short trip from Amsterdam, it is one of the easiest day trips you can do, and one of the most scenic. In just one afternoon, you can walk along the river, see working mills in action, and explore historic workshops that showcase traditional Dutch craftsmanship. And the best part is only about 20 minutes away by train from the city. We started our visit by wandering through the village, taking in every detail, from the quiet wooden houses and riverside path to the small bridges that set the scene and make it feel like you step back in time. As we explore, we pass traditional workshops, cozy cafes, and scenic corners where the windmills slowly appear in the distance. It is calm, atmospheric, and incredibly photogenic, and honestly, just walking through the village like this is one of the best ways to experience Schans before seeing the windmills up close. Next, we step into Blik of Cacao, a small shop in Zaanse that gives you a taste of the area's chocolate and cocoa history. Inside, you will find shelves filled with beautifully packaged cocoa tins, chocolates, and traditional Dutch treats, all inspired by the region's trading past. It is a quick stop, but a nice little break while exploring the village, and a great place to pick up something sweet before continuing on to the windmills. One of the windmills we visited was the Indische Welbaren. This traditional Dutch windmill is part of the historic industrial landscape that once defined the region, where wind power was used to process and produce goods that were traded across the Netherlands. What makes it stand out is its classic wooden structure and its beautiful position along the river, surrounded by other windmills and traditional Dutch houses. We made a stop at the Cat, the only remaining wind-powered paint mill in the world, This mill grinds pigment for traditional paints using wind energy. We were able to step inside and see the windmill in action, getting an up-close look at the massive wooden gears and moving mechanism that power these remarkable machines. Today, the CAT, it is both a working heritage site and one of the most photogenic spots in Zaanse. Beyond the windmills, there is actually a lot more to explore in Zaanse. You can visit traditional cheese farms, watch wooden clocks being made in small workshops, browse local craft shop, and taste Dutch streets along the way. If you're visiting Amsterdam, Zaanse is absolutely worth adding to your itinerary. It is one of the easiest and more iconic day trips from the city. And just like that, there is the end of my 4 days in Amsterdam. This trip has honestly been something truly special, not just because it's my first time here, but because I got to experience it with friends who call this place home. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and let me know in the comments what your favorite part was. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.